following program is sponsored by Michael W. Smith. The views expressed on the following program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership.
Arizona, this is Brother Mike, and I'm back on the radio. Welcome to HardcoreChristianity.com. God bless you today. Today's Bible study, The Bachelor. It's got a bunch of Christians on there now. Did you know that? Oh, yeah, sure you did. Hey, will you call somebody and tell them the radio program's on? I'll make a couple of quick announcements while you make that call. We're going to do a little overview of The Bachelor today. This is Brother Mike. I'm the professional counselor at the Arizona Deliverance Center, downtown, 15th Avenue, just south of Osborne Road. On the website, HardcoreChristianity.com, of course, we have all of our ministry services there. 2 live services every week, 7 p.m. Thursday, 7 p.m. Friday, teaching, healing, preaching, and deliverance at every service. We're still open during the COVID-19 fiasco. On the website, you can sign up for another free seminar. We have one a month. They're free. You can hit one of the radio archives and catch an old radio show if you want to, if you happen to miss one. You can hit the PayPal button and send us another donation. We now have an app that goes on your phone that you can also donate to. That's on the website. Sister Karen's on the website. She's on the home page. She loves to list your home for sale, and she loves working with born-again Christians. Spirit-filled Christians, loves it and does an excellent job. Thank you for all your referrals to her. Got a lot of comments about my COVID-19 radio program. A lot of people mad, a lot of people happy. A lot of interesting insights into that COVID-19 thing. It's not what you think it is. There's a lot more to it than that. You might want to catch that program. Came out on Monday. Season 24 of The Bachelor. Oh, wow. Just wrapped up now. And, of course, last season, we got a whiff of the Christianity starting to move in on The Bachelor. The Bachelorette, who later went on to Dancing with the Stars and has probably gone on to a bunch of other fiascos. She claimed to be a Christian while she slept with 2 of the 3 guys on the overnight stay near the end of the program. She got mad at one of the guys who was also pretending to be a Christian. He was also a fraud. She got mad at him because he questioned her having sex with him or the other 2 guys. As soon as he did that, she took an offense and kicked him off the show. That was the season 23 of The Bachelorette. Anyway, the fiasco continued on season 24 of The Bachelor. This guy was supposed to be a Christian as well. He was a devout Catholic. And the final 2 contestants, 2 of the final 3 contestants in this year's Bachelor program also claimed to be Christians, devout Christians, right? He was a Catholic and the other 2 were Protestants. He was a Christian Catholic, they were Christian Protestants. Not much difference. 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1, "This know that in the last days perilous times shall come." That's a Greek word, kalipos for perilous there. It means dangerous. And boy, isn't that true. The COVID-19 thing is a high quality illustration of that. It says, "For men shall be lovers of their own selves." Now the word men there is a generic term for humanity in this verse. It means men and women. Men shall be lovers of their own selves. They will covet stuff. They will be boasters. They will be proud. They will disobey their parents. They will be unholy and unthankful. They will be without natural affection. Well, that kind of sums up The Bachelor. They will be fierce. They will be despisers of things that are good. They will be high-minded. They will be lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God. Welcome to every single season of The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. They will be lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God. In season 23, some guy named Peter, who was the bachelor in season 24, the one we just went through, he was one of the final 3 men and had an overnight visit with the Bachelorette. And they were bragging about how he had had sex with her 4 times during their overnight, and she was very proud of that. He had intercourse with her 4 times. Again, remember, this is a devout Catholic. His family is a devout Catholic, and in particular, his mother is a super devout Catholic, and they were all fine with it. It was partying on. 2 Timothy chapter 3, there it is, verse 6. For of this sort are those who creep into houses, and they lead captive silly women loaded with sins and led away with various lusts. They're always learning, but they're never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. There is, to your typical American Christian, going to church, hearing sermons, listening to tapes, on and on it goes. They're ever learning something, but they're never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. And this Bachelor situation is exactly that. His name was Peter Weber, and he whittled it down to 3 women, as you know they do. And one of the women was a devout Protestant Christian who had a talk with the Bachelor before the overnight visits, and she told him that if he slept with the other 2 girls, that would be a deal breaker, and she wouldn't have anything to do with him because she was a virgin and a devout Christian, and she was saving herself for marriage. Okay, right out of the gate there, you can kind of tell that has lost her mind. She had watched season 23 of The Bachelor and knew that he had sex with the Bachelorette 4 times on their overnight stay. She already knew that. Her dad, who was very hard on Peter during the home visits the previous week, and he was telling the guy, she has certain values and she doesn't want to violate those values. Well, if she had certain values, what was she doing on the show in the first place? Second of all, she knew that he was a serial adulterer because she already knew he had slept with last season's Bachelorette. But anyway, she has this farcical conversation with him at dinner and says, that would be a deal breaker for me. And he's just staring at her, and he's probably thinking, well, I'm not going to pass up a lot of these free chicks on this program. That's nuts. I'm sure I can talk her out of it later. So that you know what happened. Hopefully you don't. Hopefully you didn't watch it. You know what happened? Hey, he sleeps with the other 2 women. And one of them supposedly be a Christian, the one that made it to the final 2. And again, she seemed like a really nice person, a good person, absolutely. The other one had a severe anxiety disorder and was emotionally ill, and he did himself the biggest favor of his life and got rid of her. She was very sick. But anyway, he ends up with these 2 women, the 2 Christians that he likes, and he chooses the one where the virgin had went home. She left. She didn't want to be a part of it. So he was left with one woman, but he really wanted the other one, the virgin. But he took the one that was left, hoping he could kind of talk himself into her, but he couldn't do it. And so he finally got rid of her. After a month or so after the show was over, they finally had a meeting, and he dumps her. Then they have a big spill out of the whole thing after the rose ceremony, that kind of thing. And of course, the virgin then comes back and changes her mind and wants to reboot the relationship. And so apparently they do reboot it. They go to a Hillsong concert. They're going to become Christians and fall in love and so on. And of course, they broke up a week or so later. The whole thing was a certified farce. But the only thing that wasn't a farce in that TV show was Peter's mother. His mother showed up at the final showing, and she told Peter, "Hey, you can't marry a Protestant. It's not going to work out. It's not going to work out. She's not going to fit into our family, and it's not going to happen." And so obviously the mother was the only person that knew what the heck was going on, because the virgin gal didn't know anything about it. She was out of her mind. Her dad was out of his mind. Even letting her go on that show was crazy. Her going on the show was nuts. They knew he was a Catholic, and they know that you cannot, a devout Christian cannot marry a Catholic, because there's going to be a big fight over how to raise your children. There's going to be a big fight about doctrine. Protestants do not pray to dead people, and they do not worship Mother Mary, and they do not get involved in 1,000 other false doctrines of Roman Catholicism. Most Roman Catholics are good people. Catholics, by the way, are different from Roman Catholics. There's a lot of Catholics out there that some are born again. Many of them do not worship Mother Mary. They do not pray to idols or dead people. But Roman Catholicism has numerous satanic doctrines, and under no circumstances was that woman going to fit into a Catholic family. They should have known that to begin with. But the whole thing was a publicity stunt. All they did was they wanted to get on the show and get a name for themselves, and that's how that works. That's what it is. There's no possible way a devout Protestant, a true born-again, Spirit-filled Christian, can possibly marry a Roman Catholic. It is not going to work. And Peter's mother knew that. She knew that girl was not going to fit in. They wanted the other girl. The other girl would have fit in. She would have compromised her religion, and she would have been okay living with Catholic in-laws. There was no problem. All right? But the other girl there, she should have known that it wasn't going to work. And so you could tell that the whole thing was a farce. Whenever you watch these shows, if somebody says I'm a Christian, that's the first red flag given to you that they are not Christians. They are not Christians. As soon as they say they're a Christian. It's like if you go to your church tomorrow and somebody says, well, I'm a prophet, I get prophetic words from God. The fact that sentence right there is a green light for you to run, and I mean run out the door as fast as you possibly can. Do not let somebody prophesy over you and speak words over you unless you're not going to take them to heart. Well, then you can just let them do that, I suppose, just to be polite. But whatever you do not let those kind of people put their hands on you or prophesy over you. You're going to end up in big trouble. You're going to end up in big trouble. John chapter 3, Jesus said, you must be born again. The Greek phrase is geneo anothen. It means to be generated or born from above. Being born again is a true spiritual experience. It's something you can feel. If you have not had that born again experience, 602-636-5800, please come in and let me pray with you. You need to be born again. That's something that Roman Catholicism does not teach. It's something that Scientology does not teach. These phony Christian denominations, they do not teach that. Jesus taught it. You must be born again. If you're not born again, you're eligible to go on the next season of The Bachelor.
The views expressed on this program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership. This program was sponsored by Michael W. Smith.